Listen to better music and listen to music better. Welcome to True Tunes at 45 RPM, the short-form version of the ongoing conversation you'll hear on the True Tunes podcast and in the digital pages at truetunes.com. And now your host, John J. Thompson.
Welcome back. JJT here with a few more minutes with my Berlin-based friend, Ben Seidl, also known as ROEMER. While I've been a fan of his music for a couple of years now, when I heard about the open mic nights he hosts, the venue he helps to manage, and how he has become authentically intertwined into the creative and social fabric of the Berlin neighborhood he calls home, the more I wanted to explore that. Suddenly, there was a whole other way that I could relate to this guy. When I started True Tunes, it really was all about gathering people together, cultivating community, whether hanging out in our storefront, organizing local shows, or ultimately when we had our own concert venue. Everything was really an excuse to gather people together. I asked Ben for any advice he might have for artists or would-be cultivators of community in their hometown.
Again, just to kind of go back into the notion of when we cross into other cultures, I think it's safe to understand that there's a lot of different cultural things happening around us here in North America. And the first thing that we have to identify is when are we the guest and when are we the host? A lot of times we want to come into a space. We want to create community. We want to move people with our music. We want to play the role of host because we have the answer. Because we have the message, we have the thing. I would be really quick to listen and slow to speak in these types of situations. The first thing I would recommend is ask the critical question, what is actually happening around us in the neighborhood that we find ourselves in right now? And who are the hosts? And it's probably not you. So how do you be a guest? Where are the open mics in your neighborhood? Do they exist already? Who are the artists? Yeah. And what is the art that they're making? And what stories are they telling? And how is that resonating with their neighborhood? I would want to get to know people who are makers. I would get to know them before trying to say, I want to come in and create community. Because what I found, and this is not the case everywhere, but what I did find in Berlin is artists found each other. They already had community. And in many circumstances, it was a lot better, more deep, more transparent, and more life-giving than anything that I was dreaming up as kind of this pastor who my job is to create community in a specific type of context. Right. It was me going to the pubs and to the bars and being a guest and not being a host. Being quick to listen and slow to speak. I stand up in front of people and talk all the time. I am a music minister in a church. I know how to do all of that type of stuff and do it well. I would go into an open mic. I'd put my name on a list and I would play my 2 songs and I wouldn't leave. I'd hang out the entire time. I would see who's playing. And I wasn't trying to be better than anybody. I was just being me. This is my art. This is me. But what's happening in this room, and how can I be interested in the stories and in the lives of the people who are here right now? I would say do that for a long, long, long time, and then start to dream a little more about what does it mean for this to be, can this be better? Can this be improved upon? Should it be improved upon? Who's being left out? Who's being forgotten? Who's othered? But that's my story. I feel like that's the journey and the path that I'm on. I mean, I haven't been on a stage in months, but when I think about what it was like doing that, I hosted a singer-songwriter showcase every Wednesday night for 6 years, and it was awesome. And the artists that I played with and our audience they're not just my neighbors because this is happening in my neighborhood. They're also my friends. And in many ways, this space was also like the neighborhood living room. And I stood on that stage and I played my songs in a lineup with a bunch of other artists doing the exact same thing, as if a way to say, this is me, this is Ben, this is what I think, this is what I feel safe here, and I could share this with you, and I need you all to be a part of me and part of my life. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, when work is hard to find. And bless the Lord, oh my soul, when the rent will fall behind. When your promised land, your best laid plans are hidden from our sight, you're still good news to those whose daily bread is dry.
Thanks, Ben. And you all need to be listening to ROEMER. You may have heard him on our weekly Spotify mix without realizing it, but pay attention. This stuff is important. That's all for now. The Run Out Groove is coming. If you dig the show, please subscribe and spread the word. Also, please leave us a review and rating on Apple Podcasts, subscribe to our email list at truetunes.com, follow us on Facebook at TrueTunesNow, and find and follow our weekly Spotify Gallery Stage mixtape. You can find me on Twitter at John J. Thompson and on Instagram at TheOnlyJJT and at TrueTunesMusic. And you can support this show through our patreon.com/TrueTunes community or via a one-time tip linked on the show notes page. There's also some sweet swag available at truetunes.threadless.com. So tell your friends about the show, post it on your socials, and let us know what you think.
True Tunes is proud to support the work of Vision Trust and their exceptional local heroes who reach, equip, and transform the lives of thousands of children around the world, one child at a time. These workers are committed to the physical, emotional, material, and spiritual care of children in their community. For just $40 a month or $10 a week, a life can be changed. Please visit visiontrust.org/truetunes to learn about this important work and join us in this incredible story. True Tunes at 45 RPM is produced by John J. Thompson and Bruce A. Brown for Gyroscope Productions and is intended for the private use of our listening audience. The contents are protected by US copyright law and are the intellectual property of Gyroscope Productions, with the exception of songs or clips that are from previously copywritten materials. Everything on this episode is used by permission or under fair use provisions. Thanks for listening. Cheers. We'll see you next time.